Okay, guys, Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Just for reference, remember, we're talking about King Solomon. He is the one who wrote Ecclesiastes. He wrote it for our benefit to help us keep us from the bitterness of learning through our own experience that life apart from God is meaningless. That was his reason for writing this book. King Solomon was the wisest man on earth. So we need to keep that in the back of our minds, in the front of our minds when we're reading this, remembering that he had all the wisdom there was to have. So here we go. In the beginning of chapter 2, he begins talking about the vanity of pleasure. And remember, the word vanity is translated to mean meaningless. So the meaninglessness of pleasure. He conducted this experiment where he was testing himself, right? He was testing himself with pleasure to see what the purpose of it was. What was the purpose of pleasure? And in doing that, he tried alcohol, or there's a lot of scholars who say that wine, when we talk about wine in the Bible, they're not talking about wine that we know today as far as alcohol. I know a lot of scholars, they'll say that wine back then was not alcoholic. It was kind of like how we drink like maybe like a grape drink, they used grapes and to make the beverage. So I'm not sure if it was alcoholic or not, but it's funny because he talks about cheering himself with wine. And when you drink alcohol, a lot of times the first side effect is like a kind of loopiness, or that kind of giddiness that you feel. So it kind of sounds like alcohol, but I don't know. Anyway, so he says how he tried cheering himself with wine, and he did that. And mind you, while he's doing these experiments, he's the wisest man on earth. So he did that because he wanted to see, why do the people on earth spend the little time they have on earth? Our lives are so short, right? Our days are numbered. Why do these people spend the little time on earth they have drinking this wine, right? He allowed himself to be foolish. He allowed himself the things of foolishness because he wanted to see what was the purpose of it. And everything he found, all of it came out to being meaningless. The foolishness, drinking the wine, what comes from that? What is the purpose of that? And some people say, well, to have a good time. Okay, to have a good time. What is accomplished by you being foolish? We have such little time on earth, and we are so quick to talk about this is messed up and this is messed up, and people are starving and people are homeless, and we could spend our days doing something a little more productive, or even spending time with our children. I think that's what he's trying to say here. It's like he wanted to see what all the fuss was about in regards to this, and he found out that it was meaningless, right? In all that, he's talking about, let me try to put this together. So basically what he's asking is, what is the real reason on why we do the things that we do, even when it comes to working,